What's up guys, my name is Nick. I am NextFab's digital fabrication manager. Today I'm going to show you how to make a poster holder. And let's go to my shop and make it. Alright, we are down at my workshop, which I also call the Hobbit's Den because there's not much ceiling height. You're going to need some trim or molding. You can get this from Home Depot for roughly around like, I'm going to say like, I think it's like $2 to $5 for a yard. So you're gonna need a poster. What I have right here is See America. So that's gonna be our poster for today. So that is awesome. The next thing you're gonna need is some string, some sure tape, and then you can never have enough clamps. Clamps are gonna be what you're gonna be using to clamp down your trim to our next thing we need, which is our cutting block. So if you don't have one, you don't need it, but it'll create a perfect 90-degree cut. Otherwise, what you would need for tools is a hammer, because we're gonna have to hammer this in. A staple gun. This is a really great staple gun I got from Lowe's for like 13 bucks. Handsaw. X-Acto blade. Yeah, you don't really need one of these things, but this is actually like a nail holder. Comment, like, or subscribe below if you want me to make one of those or model one for you. And a nail. So, where we left off, the one thing I didn't mention is we need a tape measure. So we're gonna measure our poster real quick. With our trim, we're gonna wanna leave at least about, I'm gonna say like 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 of an inch border. This is gonna be a perfect point for where we're gonna mount it at. If you're working one of these, I would recommend portrait posters work the best. Landscape photos or posters look a little weird. It's 20 inches here, 20 inches here, and it's gonna be about, this is like 27.5. So we're just gonna roll this guy up just so it doesn't get damaged. We're gonna put it to the side. We're gonna need to mark off our edge. So right now we're gonna measure this guy out and see how long our piece of trim is. Now, like I said, this is a little, it's roughly about a yard. This one is kind of a little under that. I said it's gonna be about like 20 inches. So we're gonna make both of our pieces of trim about 21 inches. So we're gonna throw it to the block. Now we'll get our second mark. So looking at it again real quick, this is gonna be 21 right here. You're gonna put this up into the jig, and what I recommend to do is you're gonna line up your cut with this 90-degree edge. We're gonna use this guy. It's a traditional wood clamp, and we're gonna clamp this guy down here. We just clamp this to the surface here. This little gap here allows us to get in there. Grab our handsaw, and we're just gonna start to cut it. We're gonna start to cut this and create that edge that we need. Not lining up my blade, I want to adjust it a tiny bit because it's a little off. Basically, we're now on the line. I'm not too worried about the curve of the blade with this project. We're going for approximates, so it's not super accurate. Boom. This is our scrap piece. We can throw it over there. Don't need it anymore. And then we can pull out our finished piece. So take this off for our clamp, pull this out. So we get on to our next piece. Line them up together. We can see these are pretty true. We're gonna put sure tape on the back of both of these. Move all this stuff aside. We'll grab our sure tape and we'll give this like a little bit of an approximate to size. Now, you're not gonna wanna use a piece of sure tape from edge to edge with this. You're gonna leave a little bit of that border. So about 20 inches, like I said before, was the actual width of our poster. We're gonna cut this down to roughly about the same size. Use our X-Acto blade, cut that down. And one thing I'll say with this sure tape is it's super sticky. So we're just gonna put this on the side of our table right here. And then we use this as a reference to cut down our second piece real quick. So this is looking about the same here. And then you'll take this guy and you're gonna stick this right in the middle. Now, our piece of molding or trim, whatever you wanna call it, is gonna try to move around a little bit on us, but we got it right there. And we're just gonna press down, make sure that all of the tape has secured to the back of the surface. And we're gonna do the same thing, and just get this in the middle. We don't need all this excess tape, so we're just gonna take our straight edge and right at the edge of our material, we're just gonna cut this off. So make sure you have a nice clean blade. If you use a dull blade or a dirty blade, this stuff will stick to it. I'm just gonna do a little passing cut, trim the rest of this off. And then we're gonna do the same thing onto the back side right here. Cool? Now we're gonna go for the second side. These are all cut down. I might just do like a little final pass right here, get some of this excess tape off. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna use our clamps. Now, like I mentioned before, it's good to have a bunch of clamps. If you don't have a bunch of clamps at home, I recommend using like some cups or glass bottles or anything you might have that has some weight. And we're gonna use these to clamp down our poster so it can unravel, so we can mount this. When we mount these pieces of trim, we only got one shot at it. If we mess up, well, then our piece is gonna be kind of hang lopsided, or not how we anticipate it to be. And we're just gonna clamp this down. This poster is pretty good, like it unraveled fairly well. So we're not too concerned about it. So, what we'll do, this is pretty flat. We'll line this up with our edge, and we're gonna take off the white portion of our tape. So now we're back to this clear side, which is the double side of this tape. And I think I'm gonna do this side first. So just gonna line this up with the edge here and kind of give you like a better idea, just show you, right? Line this up with my edge, leave a little bit of bleed with my trim, which is, put a little pressure down, make sure that's sticking. And once you put this pressure down, it's not gonna move. But I'm gonna do the same thing with the other side here. And just real quick, notice there's a little bit extra shirt tape that I don't want. So I'm just gonna quick trim that down one more time. Just double check that, looks good. Cool. So now we're gonna peel this off right here. Throw it to the side. And then I'm gonna try to get this as square to the other side as best as possible. We're now gonna get into stapling the back of it so we can hang it. All right, we're almost done. We're gonna unclamp our poster here. Grab our two clamps, take it off. If you have any weights, take it off your poster. We're gonna flip it upside down. So we're just gonna take this, flip it 180, and then we're gonna grab our string. We set our posters about 20 inches in width. We're gonna cut the string to about 30 inches to leave us a little bit excess material. And now we're gonna staple this to the top of our poster. So I'm gonna move this out of the way, along with this. And we're just gonna want to staple this at the edges here. So right here, if you notice, we're gonna staple it right behind this border here. So you're actually gonna penetrate through the piece of paper. And like I said, we're gonna leave a little bit of excess hanging, and you only got, one shot at this. Boom, that's the first one. And we're now gonna tie this and just do a double knot to the edge of our poster here. So tie this through, got one loop, two loops. Boom, cool. Let's take this, we're just gonna staple this at the edge here, try to match it up to where we had the other side. Boom, that's in there. And now we're just gonna wanna tie this up into a double knot like we did before. So, all right, looks like we're pretty much done here. So close the door, and I believe I'm gonna mount it right over here. So again, this is gonna be a little bit of an approximate, and I'm just gonna kind of reference this, kind of give you an idea of how this is gonna hang, right? So I think this looks good here. I'm gonna use my nail, which I have in my hand, and I'm just gonna mark the piece of drywall of where I'm gonna be hanging it, just so I don't have to be holding this up while I'm trying to mount it. I'm just gonna gently put this on the floor. And I'm gonna use this guy, which is like a little nail holder, which is super awesome. If I get my hammer out of my back pocket, which might take a second, we're just gonna go back to where I marked the hole at. And if you notice, this is really great because I can just hold it without having to touch it with my actual hands, the nail. I'm just gonna give it a few little taps. Cool, looking good. I can just grab my poster, and then I can do the final touch of hanging it. I think it looks pretty good. So that wraps it up. This was my first make along. If you really enjoyed this and tried this yourself, please comment, like, and tell us your feedback on the project. And if you want to stay tuned for more content, please subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. See ya.